Well, here we are on a Wednesday with Zeta Global Radio. And why are we doing a Wednesday show? Because we have very, very good news to say that we have somebody very special on Zeta Global Radio today, James Wanless. If you are in the tarot community, if you're in the esoteric enlightened worlds, you know this name, you know this being, this visionary, and this oracle who has really pioneered bringing the ancient tarot into modern dimensional living and everyday living, and so many people know him, and he has a lot to say. He's also the creator of his latest and greatest, Sustain Yourself cards, and he's the author of Sustainable Life and the New Success. And most of you know him, of course, with the Voyager deck. We just talked on air about how long I've been waiting to work with these cards, and I'm sure most of you already have them. So I'm going to just let it open up right now, let you all settle back, and we invite James to the show, and we welcome him for his not only being on the show, but his upcoming tour in Florida. So welcome to the show, James. So great to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm getting ready to come to Florida, so I'm in the middle of packing. That's a good sign.
Well, you're in for some good weather, but it's not like you don't have good weather where you are, but for some people, they can't say that right now. So we're very blessed over here. You're coming to some very good sunshine.
Well, that's why I love Florida and the Gulf Coast. I mean, it is just so beautiful. I mean, you're so lucky. I mean, I live here on the coast of California, which is not bad, but neither of us are in the snow, and that's good. That's very good.
That's true.
Well, I got to give a special shout out to Cheryl Ryder, who's an amazing human being who's been on our show many times out there in New Mexico. And she had given me the tip that you are here, that you're going to be doing this wonderful tour, and we're going to talk about all that today and share with our audience a little bit about your work. For those of them who may not know who you are, I thought maybe you could just, I don't even know how you're going to do it, but maybe just give them a little bit of like who James Wanless is and why you're coming to Florida.
Oh, God. And, particularly when you're like at a party or something and people ask you, what do you do? Can you put in what I do? Because I like to say I'm a writer, and I like to say I'm a motivational speaker, and I like to say I'm a reader and all these things. But sometimes because sometimes you just want to talk about everything you do. I'm more curious about other people, frankly. But sometimes I just say I'm a psychologist. And then people go like, oh, my God, you're looking at me, you're therapizing me or something. I said, no. You get, tarot and all these oracles are an incredible form of psychology. It is all psychology.
You know what I tell people? I just move humanity forward in a positive way. And that kind of just circumvents everything, whether it's tarot, reading, whatever I'm doing, projects. You got to come up with one thing because you do so many things that move humanity forward in a positive way.
Well, I hope so. But I had one instance. I was on a plane. I think I might have been flying from Miami actually to San Francisco. So I'm doing some homework. I got some cards on the plane in my seat next to me, and there's a woman next to that seat, which is an open seat, and she keeps looking at me, and finally she says, "What do you do? What is this?" And I said, "I'm a tarotist." That was a bad word on a plane. I mean, she said I freaked out. A terrorist! Oh no!
Funny, but funny, not funny.
Funny, very unfunny, funny. But we settled her down, and cards are so powerful, and those of us who do readings have a lot of power and responsibility in our hands. And I think sometimes we kind of forget how much responsibility. I mean, I remember once when I was 18, I was in New York City, and I decided to get a palm reading from a palmist, a hand reader. And so I went there, and she said, blah, blah, whatever. I can't remember anything except the one thing she said. She said, because of this line that goes wherever it goes, you will die in your middle ages. And I'll never, ever forget that. Because a client is so open and vulnerable to what the reader has to say. I'm still waiting to die, and now I'm 75, and I don't know, maybe that's the new Middle Ages, right?
Well, you're 75 years young. Are you kidding?
Well, I know. One of the greatest books I've ever read, and I follow it kind of religiously, by a super anthropologist, Ashley Montagu, and it's called Growing Young. growing young. Because the idea of getting old, I freak. I mean, I cannot stand that. I am all about growing young and staying young. So some people probably said, when are you going to grow up, Dr. James? I said, never. I hope. So I mean, I think that's kind of what I do is I teach how to regenerate and renew and reimagine and reinvent your life. And instead of retiring, it's about refiring. And that's where I get my juice, is from that whole thing of staying young and growing young.
Well, I love that you just said that, because I told you off air that I pulled some quotes, things that just touched me in your wonderful new book. And I wrote, I've been propelled into refirement. And of course, you just mentioned that. So I wanted you to touch on that, because it's right. You're infusing energy into, I mean, as a lover of elements as well, we need to infuse energy into our elemental body, not take away from it by not honoring it.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of us who do counseling and coaching and reading with the cards and all that, a lot of times it is just about energy. It's exchanging energy and giving energy. Because I mean, you probably had some clients who want to talk the whole hour or whatever, but they need that.
Yeah.
And some people, it's not about always what you know and what you say. It's what they get infused in them that empowers them to walk out of that room with you feeling a lot more optimistic, a lot happier, and a lot more energized. And then I feel like I've kind of done my job.
No question. You wrote, if you are not busy changing, you are busy dying. And it was so matter of fact. I'm like, he's right. But why did you write that? I just wondered, what was on your mind? Because it's so true.
Well, because it's true. I mean, that's why. But, I think I really do. I really do believe it comes from a Bob Dylan song way, way, way back. And I'm not sure if the quote, one of his songs is, if you're not busy creating, or maybe is it, if you're not busy changing or something like that, you're busy dying. And I just, that whole, sometimes I put different words in there, but I love it, and because it's true. And particularly in today's day and age, this is a time of change. If you're not a verb, changing, looking, searching, producing, being, those ING words, you're old, you're a fossil. You're a noun, you're a statue, and, I ain't going to cut it anymore. And, it's wild to be working at my age, and I love it because it's more open, there's more opportunity everywhere, but you got to have the juice.
You have to have the juice. No question. On our, I mentioned to you that we have a Music to Heal the Earth project, and one of our partners on this project is 82 years young. And boy, is she a firecracker. Elizabeth Galen Baker, she's a filmmaker for We Know Not What We Do. And it's true. We do not know what we do. And of course, that related to the earth and what we're doing to it. And wow, did you just tap right into that in the book, reminding people how important it is that we are of these elements. We are of nature. So I'm just so grateful when I read it. I was like, oh, it's so refreshing that someone really embraces it and then, really shares it in such a palatable way. You make it so easy in your book to get these concepts.
Well, it should be easy because it's natural. And, I love the way you're using the word elements pretty freely, and I'm way into that. And I have a thing in my Sustainable Life book. I think you have a copy of that. But one of the things I have in there is about the elemental diet. When we talk about diet, we're talking mostly about food and what kind of food and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the food called our elements. By the way, are you breathing enough of clean air? Are you really aerobicizing your life? And are you hydrating enough? And are you actually touching the earth enough? And I mean literally putting your hands and bare feet into the dirt and mud. Because I know a lot of people. I mean, I've done retreats I had one in Holland. It was on this incredible farm. And even I love the Dutch people. It was very cool. But in this beautiful place and grass and everything, and nobody would take off their shoes. And then what is that? It's because there's cooties down there, or beetles, or bees, or whatever, worms, and all these scary things. Dude, This is where we come from. This is what we're made of. And are you getting enough vitamin D? Are you out in natural light enough? You can wear a hat and all that. But are you getting your elemental diet? Because if you get enough air and water and earth, and I mean earth, not from food so much, but actually from physical earth, soil. So, because soul, interesting, the word soul and soil. So comparable there.
I love that.
What they're doing, the neuroscientists are trying to find the seat of consciousness. Then they're looking, they've magnified these brain cameras. Way much. And the Chinese have got a new camera that's 1,000 times more than any other camera of the brain, because they're looking for the soul. They're looking for the seat of consciousness. And I think what they're finding is they're not going to find it.
But really, when you bypass what the mind and you think what's in there, it's not about that. It's about transmuting the energy and that we come into oneness. And if more people can realize that, they get past that whole mindset of, oh my God, I can't take off my feet, or not take off my shoes.
I can't take off my head, by the way.
So believe it or not, we already have to take a break. So hang tight, everybody. I know you're enjoying this as much as we are. We are listening to Zeta Global Radio here with our special guest, James Wanless. We will be back in a moment. Zeta Global Radio is a proud sponsor of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce of Southwest Florida's monthly community education outreach series. Join an esteemed member-based panel on a variety of topics, including February's upcoming Health and Fitness panel at the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral and at the Unity Church of Bonita Springs. Learn from our 4 panelists 4 different perspectives and possibilities for living stronger and staying limber and healthier much longer. Only $5 to attend. Learn from these experts on how you can be a better you, mind, body, and soul. For more information, please visit any of the Facebook pages, which are HCC Cape Coral, HCC Fort Myers, or HCC Naples for event information. We look forward to seeing you there. Additionally sponsored by Natural Awakenings Magazine and Muscle Tuners International. Holistic Radiance Day Spa, formerly Trice Massage Therapy and Skincare, welcomes you to their new location in the heart of downtown Cape Coral, Florida. Specializing in massage therapy, including deep tissue, Swedish, trigger point, and lymphatic drainage, to facials of all kinds, incorporating avant-garde technologies for every skin type. All of their skin and nail care products and services are natural and support the optimum in self-care wellness. Be part of their special Holistic Radiance Day Spa membership club, filled with special offers, discounts, and member-only services. Right now, ZGR listeners has a special offer for you. Enjoy a buy 1 month, get the next one free by visiting their website at holisticradiancefl.com or their Facebook page at Holistic Radiance Day Spa. It's time to be conscious and caring about your own personal wellness. Visit Holistic Radiance Day Spa today for a pampered treatment and to truly become the radiant being your body has been waiting for. Ready to see what's in the cards for you? It's a new year and new goals are being set. Yet what is the roadmap to get them met, realized, and brought to fruition? Hi, it's Lainey Savante Wolkin here, and when I'm not hosting ZGR, I'm working with clients worldwide to bring better harmony, clarity, and purpose. I show you a mirror of what your soul already knows but is waiting to bring forward for healing, transformation, and truly a jump on the next phase of your life. I'm a certified 5th tarot reader, certified theta healer, and I come from a very long lineage of intuitives in my family. My new readers and healing studio is located in downtown Cape Coral, Florida, yet I work with people worldwide doing phone and online Zoom readings. Wherever you are, I could support you. When you are called to the cards, let me support you further with a very insightful look at what fabulous events life has in store for you. After all, the cards don't lie, so let's see what magic is waiting for you. To book a session today, please visit my Intuitive Wisdom Facebook page for more info. Intuitive is spelled I-N, the number 2, U-I-T-I-V-E, the word wisdom. Intuitive Wisdom on Facebook. Thanks so much. I look forward to reading for you soon. Welcome back to the Lainey and James show, because this is such a wonderful, as we were saying, freewheeling. In fact, one of the highlights that I put in from your book that you wrote, surf your life to save your life. So what do you mean by that? Surf your life to save your life.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, of course I wrote that. But sometimes what's really scary is sometimes when people meet me and they say, you wrote that? You could write that? It's because I enjoy life and I'm funny and I'm weird maybe and I'm wild. And people don't believe I was actually a professor. I actually have a Ph.D. in political science and blah, 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 and all that.
I read that. Columbia University. Look at you. Yeah,
that was a long, long time ago. But it's so beautiful to reread or have somebody read something and say, that sounds really nice. Now, what was that again? Yeah. It was about surfing to live.
Well, it impacted me. Surf your life to save your life. What does that mean? I think you're talking about flow, right?
Yeah, and I'm talking about the vibration, the wave. Everything in life is a wave. Everything is a vibration. Everything's a vibration. I don't care what it is. At some level, it's a wave. It's a vibration. And it has its currents and flows and all of that in there. But, I mean, it's because that's the nature of movement of life. I mean, okay, so I go back to the law of motion. I mean, I love physics. And one of the laws of motion is a body at rest tends to stay at rest. Hence, you're dead, sort of, or dying like a lot of sedentary people, are these days, watching and looking and sitting. Or you could be moving because a body in movement tends to stay in movement, which is alive. And that's aliveness. So surfing to me is feeling the wave and going with that wave, going with that flow. But it's a bouncy flow. It's a wavy flow. I ran into a physicist one time walking on some obscure beach in Big Sur up there, pretty exotic, wild place, and I couldn't believe it. He's wearing all red, and he said, this must be an Osho guy, a Rajneesh guy, and he was, but he's a physicist. He said, you need to know, James, that the universe is a bumpy place. It's all bumpy. Like, wow. And a lot of people don't like bumps. A lot of people like it straight and flat and boring, I would think. But once you get into the ups and downs of life, like the proverbial wheel of fortune, we go up and then, oh, my God, we crash. We go down, then back up. It's bumpy. It's a wave. And once you learn how to surf it, ride that wave so you stay in balance amidst these incredible ups and downs. I have one of the cards in Voyager Tarot. Well, you got me jacked up here.
Oh my God, I have so many questions about that. But anyways, well, that might have to continue on part 2. But go ahead.
Well, one of my cards actually is called the Surfer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's what that's kind of all about. But I have this little tiny dancing figure on the edge of the Wheel of Fortune in my fortune card. No, most people's ever going to see it. It's so tiny, but it's so cool. It's like really dancing on the Wheel of Fortune, meaning surfing these waves of life and knowing that as much as our downers are and setbacks are, it's all opportunity, it's all energy, it's all part of the wave. So dude, surf it. And when you're doing that, you're living an energized life, and that's kind of my goal. Surf it.
Well, I have to, now that you brought it up, the Voyager card, of course, the Voyager deck. So do you to this day, because of course that came out in 1985. I know you said you've sold over 250,000, 250,000 decks. It's obviously one of the most popular decks in history. And do you ever come across anything new in it? Like you ever look at it again and say, oh my God, I didn't even realize this, because I'm sure that's what people do over and over and over. It's a continuous journey, that deck.
Well, yeah, thank you for saying that, because it really is. And, the whole idea, making Voyager, which took 4 years to make. It's photo montage. It's before Photoshop and computers and all that stuff. And it's incredibly detailed and complex, and sometimes I forget some of these little details that are in some of these cards, even though I've known them for 35 years. And then because what I teach a lot of times in how to work with oracles because it's all metaphoric and symbolic, is find an image in there that you wouldn't normally see or just see right away. Find something that's really obscure. And how does that represent your own hidden self, your own obscurity, the own thing that you're hiding or not seeing in yourself? And sometimes I get it. It's like, oh, my God, look at that. I don't know what is wrong with me or what's right with me. So it's a continuous, ongoing, growthful tool. And that's why I didn't want it to be simplistic and duh. There's a guy with a sword looking like duh. You know, I mean, my guy with a sword is not the Knight of Swords. I don't even have swords. I don't like swords. Boy, I must have had a bad past life in the Crusades or something. I must be slicing guys.
I'm with you.
So I have crystals instead of that. But instead of kings and queens, I don't like royalty, so off with their heads. So with Voyager, it's men and women and sages and children, our whole inner family that's there. So instead of some guy sitting there with a sword looking like duh, it's the Surfer card. Actually, my Knight of Swords is the Man of Cups, the Surfer, which,
Brilliant.
by the way, I've taught a lot in Europe and mostly in Asia now. But anyway, in Europe, the Germans hated that card. Well, I remember distinctly one class, not all Germans, of course, but this one class, this one person said, "Why, what authority do you put the surfer in these cards?" I said, because I made it up. Because I decided to make it up, and that made him totally insane.
Because you are free rolling and surfing.
And I come from California, by the way, and I always lived on the coast, by the way. And I'm a real believer in psychogeography. Psychogeography. You know, Carl Jung, the great psychologist, I mean, we all love him. He's all the archetypes and all that.
Oh, of course.
The thing he said, I'll never forget this, the most important thing he said about living is know your place. Live in your place. And that is
so well
heavy.
said.
And most people don't do that because I got transferred there, my boyfriend took me there, or I ended up there, or, you know, something like that. So I'm there. But when it should be a really conscious choice, like you made that conscious choice a couple of years ago to move to Florida. So obviously it must represent psychologically and emotionally your place. There's something about Florida that resonates with your spirit, your soul of who you are. Is that right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was energetically in resonance, and we're very mindful of that. And it's interesting. You also mentioned archetype. I did a whole show here with Teresina Bakken. She's the creator of the 5th Tarot deck that I use for readings. And we had a whole show on Awaken Your Archetype. And we talked about Carl Jung and everybody else who's influenced by how important it is that we understand archetypes and how it relates to us in modern days. So I'm so glad you brought that up. But you're right. You have to be in resonance energetically so you can surf properly on land and in sea.
I love it.
Exactly. And you know, cards are great for creativity. I don't think people have a very limited understanding of an oracle, of a tarot deck. I mean, really limited understanding. I mean, I take them into corporate companies and organizations as a creativity tool.
Oh, wow. Great idea.
Yeah, I know. I'll never forget the one time I was with Oracle Computer up in Silicon Valley. I was there for the whole afternoon, and it was their financial department. It was all about creativity, and they picked cards. But not only did they pick cards, like all of a sudden this guy gets the love card. He's saying, what the heck does love have to do with money? You know, I thought that was pretty interesting. But anyway, I have them look at all the images because symbolic metaphoric thinking is where it's at for creativity and innovation. So, I mean, that afternoon was off the charts for me. I mean, they just got so jacked up. And the ideas were, I couldn't, you know, I had a big blackboard or a whiteboard up there for all their ideas. I couldn't keep up with them.
Oh, my God. Amazing.
Yeah, we let them out of the cage or something, or out of the box. That's for sure.
You fired them up.
I did fire them up. And metaphoric, I mean, symbolic imagery is meant to do that. I mean, you know, we look at that. You look at a symbol of the dollar sign, like a ooh, or you look at the symbol of a heart coming up for Valentine's, like wow. And then we look at the image of the Earth from, you know, those pictures from Moon. We go like, oh. I mean, these images have such an emotional impact on our psyche. And that's why I warn people when they're using an oracle or a deck. I say, now, are these your images? Do these really make you feel empowered and good, or is this just what you were taught you're supposed to do? And because it's 500 years old, who cares? I mean, really pay a lot more attention, even to the author of these things. I mean, there's so many decks out there, and I don't care about the deck. I care about who created this deck. I want to know the person. I want to know where they are coming from.
No question. Well, you know what? That's actually a perfect segue, because this, for Floridians, is all about getting to know the person, because James is going to be here starting next week. And he's going to be here for a couple weeks. So can we talk a little bit about the tour? And if you're all saying, oh, this interview is too short because James is just an amazing man, which we agree, stay tuned, because we will be having a part 2 with James, because we want to talk more about that Voyager book. The deck. So we will have a part 2. But for now, in the couple of minutes we have left, let's talk about your Florida events, so people here who hear this can make their way over to all the different activities and readings and workshops you have going on.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a Valentine's presentation at Wild Ginger in Sarasota. Cool little store and readings there and all that. And then I go over to another place on the inland waterways in St. Pete called Sacred Lands. And that is a really groovy place. And I'm doing a lot of my green wisdom nature stuff, which is with my Sustain Yourself deck of cards. So that's all very hidden nature, the superpower within, and all that kind of stuff. And then I go up to Oldmar above Tampa, the Zen Zone. And that place is a fabulous crystal place. So I'm doing a thing on the crystal mind. And then I come back down to Sarasota at Elysian Fields. And I'm going to do a classic kind of what I do, Year of the Empress forecast, because this is a number 3 year, 2019, 3, the Empress. So we're going to be doing a whole talk and forecast about that. And then I go over to the other coast, by the way. I go to West Palm to the Jamar Enlightenment Center and do a bunch of stuff over there, and that's kind of the end of February. So it's a busy schedule, doing a lot.
Yes. Sounds like it's going to be one mystical journey that you're going to be on. And wow, for our listeners who are here in Florida, please go to any and all of those. I wish I could, but I know I will be there at least on Sunday. So if any of our listeners are going to be up in that area at the Sacred Lands, I will be there hanging out with James, because I can't wait to meet him in person finally and see and feel and learn all about his new deck and books and everything that we've been talking about here today.
Good stuff.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. It better be fun. I really consider what I do as edutainment.
Oh, yeah.
If things aren't fun today, nobody's going to do it. I don't have to do this. I don't have to go there. It's not required. But if it's fun and it's edutaining, oh, man, I love that, because it entertains and educates simultaneously.
Perfect. Well, just to close out, is there one specific website where they can find all these places that you'll be at in Florida? What's the best way? I will definitely be posting it on Zeta Global Radio, but if you have another outlet for them, let me know, or they individual, depending on the venue.
Well, one thing is I'm super active on Facebook with my name, James Wanless. Wanless. I'm super active. And on my website, James Wanless, WANLESS.com. It should be up there, but, sometimes websites are a little slow. My Facebook stuff is very up to date.
Okay, perfect. Well, we will make sure everybody hears about it. And, of course, that's why we did a special presentation on Wednesday for James, so you all can make your plans like I'm doing, and we hope to see you at all of these events. So, James, thank you so much. And, of course, you'll be back here soon enough on Zeta Global Radio, and we will continue the conversation. So thank you again for today. Best of luck with the whole entire tour you're going to be on, and we'll see you next time you're on ZGR.
Oh, this was a blast. Thank you so much, Lainey.
All right. Blessings to everybody. Make sure you share this with your friends far and wide, particularly for those Floridians, but for everybody else, thank you so much. We'll be back next week.